Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Planet. This is your morning news broadcast. I am Mr. X. Our first story tonight, we have a brand new, custom, 1/4 scale Superman Forever. Superman / Clark Kent changing statue that needs to be reviewed. And this just in. You are a newspaper, not a morning news broadcast station. What the hell are you doing? And now a word from our sponsors. Welcome to the Extreme Channel. My name is Mr. X, and this is a custom 1/4 scale Superman Forever. Another extreme collectible we're adding, and right now I was excited, but now I'm frustrated because I just filmed this entire review without record going. If you're a YouTuber and you've ever done that before, please comment below. Frustrating as hell. But we're going to try it again. Custom means that he was a private commission. They only made 50 of these, retailed for $900. 1/4 scale means he's 4 times smaller than what Superman would be in real life. So let's get the dimensions on that before we forget. The base is 13 inches, and he is 23 inches. See, that includes the base. So 23 inches wide, 13 inches wide, 13 inches deep, 23 inches tall. Purchased him because I'm a big Superman fan. You guys may have seen some of my other Superman reviews. I'll throw links into them at the end. But this is a transformation Superman. And it's a Superman Forever. What does all that mean? Well, transformation Superman, obviously it looks like Clark Kent is transforming into Superman. And I know what you're thinking. Didn't Sideshow just tease this a few weeks ago?
Wrong.
This is a custom piece. It's a custom piece that's been in the works for a well, not a long time, but probably about a year. Went up for PO about 7 months ago. This particular custom group produces things pretty fast. I recently got 2 Jack Nicholson Jokers from them, if you remember those reviews. And kind of a spoiler, I like this. I like those a lot. I love this. This is a fantastic piece. But this may look familiar to some other pieces you've seen. Not only the Sideshow one. Here's a picture of the Sideshow one coming out. And you're thinking, did Sideshow steal this from this particular idea? No, they didn't. But they did steal it from this custom one from about 9 years ago. And then I have another custom one actually arriving next month that is also a Superman transformation. Here's a picture of that. Much different. Running out of a phone booth. Has a bunch of switch outs. I'm planning on displaying it very differently than this one. Now, one thing about this one is with some of the display options, which we're going to talk about, this could be Superman Forever. I don't know too much about Superman Forever. I know it's an older Superman who left Earth and came back, has a different emblem, and you're going to see all that. However, if you're really well versed and you're a Superman lover, Stuart, or others, please let me know in the comments below a brief summary of that so our other viewers can know as well. There's also an aspect to this that is the Kingdom Come Superman. I don't know if that's the same or different, but we'll talk about my lack of knowledge and how it pertains to this statue. We're going to use the extreme scale on this. It's a scale of a 1 through 5. T is 1, X is 5. And one of the things I want you guys to do today in the comments as we go through this, I want you to give your rating on each category as we go through them. And the categories are concept, design, paint, sculpt, and overall factor. So let's just dive right into this guy. I love it. Like I said, it's going to go with my other Superman pieces. I'm going to show a picture at the end of the review, so stay tuned for that. But first, it has a phenomenal base. The base I absolutely love. It's a mix between a museum type bottom and the Daily Planet and some, Keystone memorabilia type stuff. And on it we have Clark Kent / Superman / Superman Forever, depending which switch outs you have, flowing in the wind. And he is well to do. This guy is groomed up. He spends a lot of money on his suits. And as you move to the top, he is in the transformation stage. He's doing the classic rip open your shirt, show the Superman emblem. The music starts. His buttons are coming off, or he could be stripping. I'm not sure. The tie is flowing in the wind, depending how you display it. He's looking up to the sky, ready to take off. And pretty much all the switch outs that we're going to look at tell a very similar story, but it's an awesome concept. I love how they did it. It's just great. One big thing, you want to make sure you display it at eye level because there's so much cool stuff going on here that we're going to talk about. I think they knocked the concept out of the park. It's really well done. Reminds me of one of the best scenes in the original Superman Christopher Reeve movie right here.
Excuse me. That's a bad outfit.
But I think the concept is phenomenal. There's some conceptual stuff, meaning, the base isn't actually a building, but it ties back to the building. There's Superman. There's so many different display options. They're showing the best parts of both Clark and Superman. So I think the concept's an X. It's fantastic. It's 5 out of 5. I want to say prove me wrong, but I'm sure some people can try. Next, we're going to talk about the design. And with the design, there was some stuff that was really unfavorable. Let's just put it that way. Unfavorable. Then some really amazing stuff. So first, check out the packaging. They always do fantastic packaging. Everything was secured really well. Cool little art box right here. Standard custom foam with tape. Here's the first layer, had the body, a few of the other pieces we're going to talk about. Then you have the base as well and a few of the other switch out pieces. So here's all the different pieces on the table. So that's the base, his body, minus his tie, emblem, glasses, and portraits. Those are all the separate pieces. And they're separate because there is a lot of switch outs. Let's look at those. First, for portraits, here is one with his hat on. And I don't plan to use this one because the future custom one I have coming in, I like that hat a little bit better. We'll probably do an extrumble between these because they're similar but very different. And then here is the Superman Forever portrait. The biggest difference about this is his hair. You see kind of an aged look. All the sculpts look very similar to me. There's slight differences in the mouth, which we will look at during the close-ups. And actually, as I'm looking at them closer, I don't know if there's differences in their mouth or it's just me trying to find one. And here's the classic one. So this is exactly the same as the last one I showed you, I believe, unless there's something I'm missing, other than the aged look in his hair. So I think that's awesome. 3 different portraits, but I wish they had different facial expressions. That would have helped it out a little bit. Some other switch outs are he has glasses. Here you can actually put on any of the portraits. Here they are on the one with the hat. They don't fit very well, but I think they're meant to be crooked because he's rushing, so they're flying off or he's taking them off. And here is what they look like on the normal Superman head. Or you can display them how I have them. I was able to get him like kind of on his hand. He's not really holding them, but it looks like he is. And this would follow Superman because he takes his glasses off, then opens up his shirt. This is definitely the way I'm going to do it. Now let's look at his 3 emblems on his chest. The first one here being your classic Superman one. And the other 2 are the Kingdom Come and the Superman Forever. And as you'll see, they're very, very different. So this first one isn't as different. It's still an S. But you have the yellow and black, so an S on the inside. And then the other one is red and black, where the S is almost in the border, or it doesn't even look like there's an S, depending on how you're looking at it. And you saw those pictures right there. One of the things you didn't see is you can display them with or without this tie flowing in the wind. I like that that's an option. Some collectors may love this. Some collectors may hate it, the tie. So it's awesome. You can do it with or without. I definitely plan to do with. Now, Mr. X, what about the negatives with design? So one is he's only keyed in through 1 foot, so he kind of wobbles. So if you are going to move him, you have to be extremely careful, which you don't move him too often, but that's definitely a risk. I wish the key would have been longer or they keyed in both feet. That would have taken away that issue. The other big issue I have is the glasses look really cheap. There's no lenses in them, which you can't see that too close, but I think there was some opportunity there. However, the biggest issue I have is the way his head keys in. Now, you actually have to use a blow dryer to get the head in. And we were told about this ahead of time, so I appreciate the communication. We were given great videos on how it's done. But because of the way the collar sits over the base of the neck, if you don't want the neck seam showing, you have to be able to move the collar. And because it's sculpted in, you need to heat it up to do that. Where I didn't really have any issues with that, I could foresee that being an issue every time you have to do that. And the issue I did have is I was inserting the head just as the instructions said, and it caused a tiny, tiny paint blemish on the blue suit. Check this out right here. So those two things I think definitely take the design down a little bit. Normally I would say this base is too big, but I love some of the sculpt and paint we're going to talk about when we get to it. So I am okay with that. The museum style base on the bottom look is probably the most I've ever liked a black circular museum style base, but it could have gone as well. So I think overall some really great things, all the different switch outs. You can tell you show different versions of Superman. You can display him in his transformation a little bit different, without hat, with glasses, holding glasses, tie on, tie off. And another big part I totally forgot about. Totally forgot about this. So the first time I reviewed it, where I forgot to hit record, didn't talk about this at all. He has a suitcase that you can display anywhere you want, kind of like the boombox with Joker. Another very, very cool feature. However, I think the score is still the same. Lots of pros, some big cons. Right in the middle, the design is a V on this. Very nice. 3 out of 5. That's still a good score. So our last two categories are paint and sculpt. And we'll talk about them at the same time and move from bottom to top, and then we'll rate them separately at the end. And if you don't want to watch any more of the review, it's phenomenal. It's really good. I love both the paint and sculpt. They did a kick-ass job on this. It's really good. So let me show you why it's so good. Looking at the sub base here, that black, clean, museum type base. Like I said, usually I don't like these. The little ridge helps. Not really a big deal to look at. But then moving on to the outside of the ring here, it almost looks like a mix between windows and ornate designs you would see on the side of a building. So I like the copper effect on them. It's the same design throughout the whole thing, but it's really, really neat. And the bricks look phenomenal. It's very clean. You're going to see this throughout the entire statue, very clean. And I like that because when you think of Superman, Clark Kent, he doesn't get sweaty, he doesn't get dirty, and it helps tell the story correctly. Most of the time you'd want to see a building that has some dirt and wear and broken stones to it. Because this is more conceptual, you don't. And the beiges and reds and yellows they used in here and other colors look fantastic. Here's some close-ups of the briefcase. It looks great. Very shiny. The buckles look good. Clean paint on here. I like how the sculpt is on the straps. It has some decent weight to it as well. And I like the fact you can display it either on the ground, on the base itself, or not at all. Then let's look at the top of the base. And this is amazing. It's amazing. I can't tell you why I'm dick riding this so much. It could be, I think this may be based off some Alex Ross art. I love how it incorporates the Daily Planet. Like I said, you definitely want this at eye level. The colors they used on this just make it pop. The contrast with Superman himself. It almost looks like some type of commemorative display. And that really adds to that X concept we talked about too. Very cool. The sculpt. Then let's look at his shoes. These must be comfortable shoes. These are great. First, it has this gloss all over them, and I think some people won't dig this. I do. I really like this. I think it adds contrast to the statue. You're going to see something similar on his tie when we get up there. I like the different burgundy and brown and reds they used on it. Really make it pop. Cool looking treads, great sculpt. There's some cool texture in this as well. And I think it contrasts really well as a segue between the base and his pants. And his pants are done flawlessly. Just like the Joker, they look like mixed media. They are 100% sculpt. I love the vertical designs on them. It almost looks like it's different shades of black, which I don't think that's physically possible. Someone who's more into paint can let me know if that's true or not. The folds are fantastic. The sculpt of it looks like it's moving backwards in the wind as he's ready to move. And you're going to see that similar thing in his jacket. But moving all the way up, he doesn't have a huge Superman package, which I really appreciate. You can still see where the overlay of the zipper would be. Just great job on the pants all around. Really knocked this out of the park. Take a look at his belt. Very few places I have something I want to critique about the paint. The belt buckle would be a critique. And this is really tiny. The paint isn't super clean. I like the paint on the rest of the belt and the straps. The sculpt is fantastic too. It is leather, and they didn't give it an aged look, which I think ties with that cleanliness we talked about in the entire statue. And there's a little bit of the paint not as clean where the belt meets the white shirt that we're going to look at in a second. Let's move to his jacket. Just like his pants, it is fantastically done. The flow is even better, though. It looks like there's wind blowing, and he's taking it off. I almost wonder if the sculptor sampled it himself in real life to see what it looks like. Because this is perfect. It's perfect. The jacket might be a little big for him, but I can't tell because of the muscles. Looks really good. Even look at some of the buttons by his sleeve. And now let's look at his torso. So I have a little bit of white splotches right here. I'm going to have to try and clean up. But his shirt looks good. I wish they would have used maybe a little bit of texture on it. It's off-white, which I like. You can see the different buttons. A few opportunities in this white paint. Nothing amazing or horrible by any means. I like how you can see. I wish the buttons would have popped off. That would have been cool. Take a look at his suit. Great texture. Some folds in his suit, but not as many in his clothes. One of the things here about his anatomy, he has a beer belly, and I don't know if this is because of this is supposed to be Superman Forever. I don't know if it's part of the story, and really that's pretty judgmental looking at it. You don't notice unless you're looking at just that section. Just looking at his normal emblem here, there's this streak of red or orange down the middle, and I don't know if that's a QC issue or if that's supposed to be there, but I don't like it. So that's a criticism with the paint. There's some cool texture on the yellow that you can barely feel, and it's pretty uniform, which is nice. The S is decently clean. Here's his tie that I talked about that I said some people wouldn't like. I think the gloss some people don't like, but I really like because it ties it back to the shoes, so almost makes it flow much better. I like the way it's flowing in the wind, the way the rest of the statue is. Here's his hands and wrists. You can see where the Superman outfit underneath it, and then it's busted open, his shirt. Great job on the sculpt of his hands, the veins, very clean between the fingers as well, which is really hard to do. I think the color they used is perfect. Now, his skin looks really dry. I don't know if that's a paint issue or because I think Superman's hands wouldn't age like our hands do, but they look like a 50-year-old's hands. They still look very muscular and powerful, but I don't know if that was a casting or QC issue or what that was. But it's tiny. I mean, you're looking at it with the microscope. Here's his collar around his shirt, both his jacket and his shirt. Collar around his neck, sorry. Looks good. And look at his neck here. Some really cool sculpt in it. The way he's bending, it follows the anatomy right. Classic Superman face, big chin. Great paint job around his lips and also on his eyes. Few criticisms I have regarding the face. One is there's too much rosiness in the cheeks and some other areas. They don't have that same colorization in his hands. I wish they would have stuck more to similar what they did with his hands. And his eyebrows aren't individual hairs. It's kind of like one sculpt. So I think that could have had some better opportunity. His hair looks great with his slick, whatever they call it, Superman slick. Different strands in there, flowing in different directions. Looks really good. And then his hat. They did a great job on his hat, on his hatted portrait. the classic indentions for Superman. I like how it's tipped a little bit. The rim is also uneven. Looks like mixed media. So I think first let's grade the paint. The opportunities I saw in the paint, the base is phenomenal. The jacket, shoes, pants are phenomenal. The emblem in the middle, a little bit of worry there. Some some areas of opportunity for being clean, and then some of the rosiness in the face. I think that drops it from a perfect paint, but it's still pretty damn good, especially when you look at most of the statue. To me, it's a W on the paint. It's a rail. It's a 4 out of 5. Very well done. And as I look at this sculpt, the only thing I think that I would change on the sculpt, honestly, is the eyebrows. A little more detail in the eyebrows. Otherwise, I think it's a perfect sculpt. So it has to get an X. 5 out of 5 on the sculpt. Knocked out of the park. Maybe his abs, some more muscle definition. But like I said, I don't know if that insinuates Superman Forever, where he's older and getting a gut like we all do. Of course, I've had one since I'm 30. But, so does this have the X factor? Is this an X statue? Whew. It is. This is an X. I think overall this is an X statue. It is amazing. Concept is killer. Sculpt is killer. So many different display options. I know you have a lot of options now. We have that old custom one. Sideshow's coming out with a mass-produced one. But I don't think that Sideshow... I know Sideshow won't beat this with respect to them, because they are doing very well lately. Super excited to have him in my collection. Let's see what he looks like with some of the other pieces. Here's a picture right here. And as I said, some of these pieces, I'll throw in links at the end of the reviews on these. But stay tuned this week, guys. Super exciting. Tomorrow, custom quarter-scale Sinister on Throne arrives. The next day, custom Age of Apocalypse Magneto. The next day, I don't know what it is, but I got DHL notice from China. Then I have 3 or 4, 5, 6 other customs in transit right now. So this next 10 days, boom, 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 boom. We're going to do it. That sounded sexual. But it's not. Trying to be cleaner, trying to be more PG-13. I don't think I fucking swore at all. See what I did there? All right, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Take care.